Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, lovely people. Welcome back to Minnie's Mental Health. How are you? Thank you for joining me from around the world. So on my last video, I spoke about safeguarding. On this video, I'm going to talk about another subject that is really close to my heart, which is trauma, basically, particularly childhood trauma. So children who experience severe events or traumatic events sort of do undergo a lot of stress in the short term, yes, but it can also carry over into their adult lives. So things such as mood swings, feeling low and sad, having low self-esteem issues, and also it's linked to mental health illnesses. So sadly, a lot of children, especially in different parts of the world, including Europe as well, of course, do experience um, negative and terrible events such as wars. Some are raped, molested, abused, whether that be obviously physical abuse, there's also emotional abuse, and then there are also other atrocious events that do happen to children that can be very traumatic and that can negatively impact their adult lives. So it's close to my heart because, like my previous video, not only have I like there are no stories of friends, family members, people that I know who have experienced traumatic events. I also have my own sort of experiences. There's quite a list. It's not something that how can I say? It's not easy for me to talk about some of them, but so that as to show you guys that yes, these events do sort of affect children as they get old as well into their adulthood. I am going to share one that I'll never forget in my life, and I'm very grateful and appreciative that God Almighty sort of kept my life. So I was born and grew up in South Africa. That's where I'm from, and sadly, in my country, violence seems to be well, it's not, it doesn't seem to be, it's very prevalent even up to this day. They also, or should I say we or they also have a term that they coined GBV, which is gender-based violence. So women and children and the elderly are targeted most of the time. Of course, crimes do happen to men as well. It's just very common amongst these particular groups. So I was at my grandmother's house playing with my cousin. So there's a game, an indigenous game that we used to play with stones, and so we were playing that game just outside of the porch or yard, should I say. We're sitting there. It was a nice sunny day, and then my cousin said to me that she wanted to use the toilet, so she had to go inside the house. And I said, okay, I'll wait for her outside. So I was just outside the porch, sort of, continuing on with the game. And then all of a sudden, like a very bad horror movie, I saw a really pretty looking auntie. She was dressed really nicely. She had a gold necklace on, gold bracelet, gold earrings, and a lovely bag. And she was just walking across my grandmother's street. And then all of a sudden, two men, young men, to say, came out of nowhere. I saw this happening in front of my eyes. They came out of nowhere and they held a gun. One of them held a gun to her head, and they told her not to move. She was screaming for help, and I was less than a mile away because I was at my grandmother's house just outside of the porch, as I explained. Sorry, Papa, as I explained. And they were just outside on the road, so they held a gun at her on her head, and they told her not to move. She was screaming, of course, out of shock. They snatched her gold earrings, her gold bracelets, a gold necklace, and the bag. And it was only by God's doing. There's no other way I can explain it. That because they could see me as well. Because as I said, I was less than a mile away. They were just outside on the road, and I was just less than a mile away. Obviously, the only covering was a gate, which is why they could see me. And I was sat on the outside, on the porch outside. So it was only by God's doing that they didn't turn around and obviously shoot me, because if that had happened, like, basically think about it, I'm the witness. I saw everything as it was. And of course, as they say, children don't sort of lie. They wouldn't lie about these things. So they could have easily pointed the gun to me, killed me, and so that no witnesses are around. So I remember just shaking. I was literally shaking. So sadly, what happened to the ladies, obviously she was stripped out of her possessions and she was screaming. She didn't know what to do, but she kind of she ran over to the main road, and obviously I ran back to my grandmother's house, trembling, shaking. I couldn't believe it. Told my grandmother, they tried to see if the lady was still there. I told them though that she had gone. And after that, basically, that memory has, like, even now retelling it, I can remember it as if it was yesterday. So events such as those, obviously that's on the very sort of traumatic side, but any event that causes a child to be uncomfortable, unsafe, that where a child is sort of abused in any way, whether that be physical, verbal, emotional, is very detrimental to their mental well-being. And obviously, as parents and caregivers, need to make sure that we know what's happening with our children at all times. Obviously spend quality time with them. Be in their business. I know they say, especially in Europe, that children, you have to give them as well their space. Yes, but with discretion. Be in their business. Like, if a child is acting strange, out of character, maybe he's all of a sudden sullen, disinterested in the things that they used to be interested in, those are some of the alarms. Obviously, with physical abuse, we know that children can have bruises, scratches. It's important to always be on the lookout, be alert, check, and not to assume anything. And another thing I would say, especially being African, is listen to the children. Whatever they say to you that seems alarming or concerning, please let us follow it up. Let us check. If a child mentions that so-and-so auntie or so-and-so uncle, and especially also with male children, please, let's not assume that because they're male children, maybe, they can maybe like fight for themselves, or no. And it's also not linked to age. As long as a child is still within your care, whether that child be, I don't know, 14 or 20, and you consider that person to be a child, maybe they don't have, they're not at the mental capacity to understand what's going on. Some children have special education needs. They are the most vulnerable as well, especially the ones that are non-verbal. Certain things can happen to them where they can be easily taken advantage of, and obviously abused also. And also to children who do speak, children who do not have any special education sort of needs or any, so I just sorry, it's because this subject is very it's very dear to my heart. And of course, because not only do I have friends, people close to me that have been through severe traumatic experiences. I have as well. As I said, this was one of the things that happened to me. I've had a series of traumatic things happening to me as a child, and I'd say that the last thing would be also counseling is really good. I know within African, I don't know, I'm not sure about Asian countries, but within African countries, even up to now, 2025, it's still a taboo. Counseling is good. Talking to people is good. People that we trust. Yeah, therapy is good. It's good. Yes, as a Christian, I'm so much an advocate for prayer. Prayer is my life. For me, prayer is oxygen. You know, talking to God, hearing from Him is oxygen. That's how I live my life. I would add as well that God has also ordained like doctors, therapists, obviously the right ones that we trust. So I'll leave it at that because my son's getting agitated. But yeah, God bless you. Please tell me, how about you? Have you ever experienced any traumatic events? How did you deal with them as a child? Ever? Yeah, let's like, comment, subscribe if you like my content. Please share, and God bless you. Take care. Bye.